Okay, so I was on stage, and this guy and this girl were there at the stage, and they weren't tipping anything, which I hate. Like, I fucking hate women that go into strip clubs and don't tip anything. I think it's just so, like, you know what I mean? This is
Do you think women feel entitled not to tip?
Yeah, I do. And I think, like, what I would tell women about that is, like, if you go into a strip club, spend as much money as it would take for you to do what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, you know, don't, yeah.
But they don't empathize.
No, they not. I mean, you know, some of them do, but then it goes the reversal. Like, are you doing this to pay for school? You know what I mean? Like, you were molested, weren't you? And that's
do they
why
really
you're
say
here.
stuff like that?
Yeah. Women can be really, like, you know, like, kind of really, like, sympathetic to the point where it's sort of degrading. You know what I mean? So it's like they go from, like, they're not sympathetic at all.
Well, it's not based on reality. They're just projecting a bunch of bullshit on you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then not paying you.
Okay, but let me tell you about this singer. Okay, so this is what I said. So this guy, and the guy was kind of, like, overweight, right?
Wow.
And so he said,
so he's like a big fat piece of shit. This guy?
So he pulls out $4, right? Like, literally, like, $4, you know? And he says, I'll give you all of this if you put your tits in my girlfriend's face. And
Sounds
then
like
I
a cool
was
guy,
like,
honestly.
why don't you? And then I said,
what was this? Is your zinger?
I said, why don't you put your tits in your girlfriend's face?
That's not a bad zinger. What did he say?
And then he says, I do every night.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. So
he wanted to change her pace. He wanted new tits in her face.
I know, exactly.
Other than his tits.
I know, but I was not that girl. I was not going to be that. I don't know. Some girls would. I'm not just saying.
So do you find yourself saying no a lot?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Once you have their money, you just tell them no. You know what I mean? Tell them yes for the money.
Until they tip you.
Until they give you the money, and then say no. That's what you do. It's easy as that. It's easy.
So everybody just leaves disappointed, and you're very wealthy because of it.
I'm clearly very wealthy. Yes.
Yeah, I can tell.
Look at my wealth. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I hate when people assume I suck dick at work because it's just like, fuck you. I live in a studio apartment in Koreatown. You go to hell. You know what I mean?
That's true. If you suck dick, you'd probably live in a house, right?
I know. If I am going to be credited with sucking dick, then you'd
have a better lifestyle.
I want a 2-bedroom apartment in WeHo. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, that's where I'm at. Like, if people are gonna think that I'm sucking dick, then I want a 2-bedroom apartment in WeHo. So don't you fucking dare think I suck dick. You know what I mean? Because I live here. I live in a studio apartment in Koreatown. I do not suck dick.
This is an apartment of a person who obviously does not suck dick.
I know.
I can tell.
I know. Okay.
It smells weird. It's tiny.
It smells
weird?
No,
it smells fine. I'm just joking.
I smoked weed earlier.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm not offended.
Okay.
So you want to talk about...
Let's start with your stripper thesis since we're on the subject.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so you wrote a thesis in college?
In grad school.
In grad school.
It's a big waste of time.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like no offense, and no offense to my friends that went to graduate school, but I think graduate school is just for people who can't handle life outside of school and they need it to continue.
I kind of agree with that, especially like academic grad school. If you want to be a lawyer, you have to go to law school.
Yeah.
If you want to be a doctor, you have to go to med school.
Yeah.
Nobody has to get a master's in psychology. Nobody. If you want to be a clinical psychologist, you go get a PhD. That's the way to do it. So I just wasted a year basically, and I was kind of pissed off at academia. I started finding holes in psychology. You run a lot of human test subject research with
So what was your degree? Sorry, psychology.
Psychology.
Oh,
Psychology. But like
okay.
Experimental psychology, you run experiments in lab with students at the university. Then you run the stats on the experiment, you publish a paper, blah, blah, blah. But most of those papers are based on a study run with like 30 students who are attending one university. It's hard to generalize that to an entire population, and that's what most psychology studies do. So I started,
I look at the camera.
Isn't that bizarre?
Can you believe this shit? Okay, all right.
So I kind of questioned the entire field and thought it was sort of silly. So I said, as long as this is silly, as long as I've decided this is silly, I'm going to write a thesis on strippers. I went to a strip club with some friends who lived in Chicago, and I was like, I'll try to write a paper about this. And I was in an ethnography class. So ethnography is, like when people go to New Guinea and live with tribes people and write about what it's like to be in.
Know all about it.
You've read those.
Yeah, I read all.
Anthropologist Jane Goodall is an ethnographer.
I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
She worked with monkeys, chimps.
Yeah.
Yep, that
I
was
think
her.
chimps.
Okay.
So basically I did that in this class. We were supposed to find our own urban ethnography setting. And I was like, can I do it at a strip club?
Yeah.
And my advisor my teacher who became my advisor was a huge perv, and he was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh my God, I had a professor like that.
He was a huge he would actually cut people off while they were talking about their research from the past week and ask me what happened at the strip club.
Really?
Yeah, some guy was like doing research on the bus system in Chicago.
So exciting.
Yeah, he was like, so the door opened and then it closed, and he's like, hey Ben, what happened to the strip club?
Okay, so what happened?
I don't know. I mean, the only girls who were interested in talking to me were women who were paying their way through grad school, or at least who were telling me they were.
Yeah.
Maybe they were lying. I think that does happen.
Maybe they were.
Some of them probably were.
Yes.
So I ended up interviewing like 30 women who claimed, at least, to be paying their way through grad school or who had gone to grad school. I actually dated a girl for a little bit who had a couple masters and taught at a crappy university in Chicago. She was nuts. Yeah. A lot of Adderall.
We're crazy.
A lot of money in shoeboxes.
Yeah.
Yeah? This is all normal to you?
I have actually well, I'm not going to tell people where I hide my money, or my drugs. No, I used
Where do you hide it? Okay, give us an idea of how bizarre. It's got to be weird where you hide your money.
Okay, well, I hide my money in this little box that I got at an antique store. But yeah, I actually had a really good hiding spot outside my window. But, I know I used to in the balcony? I don't know why. I was just always worried about cops coming and raiding the place or something like that. So I used to hide shit outside my window. But then there was this issue with my neighbor feeding all the birds and that sort of thing. So there was there'd be birds and squirrels. And
so it's pretty reasonable that your money could have been eaten by birds.
Yeah, so I was always really worried about that. So I just decided not to hide anything out there anymore.
It's probably a good call.
Yeah.
How did you did you suspend it in something?
Mm-hmm.
What did you in a box?
No, I just taped it to the wall.
Outside.
Yeah. And then I just
got money taped to the wall
there. I mean, how many floors up are you?
Well, there's the second floor.
Second floor.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be that hard to get to. Okay.
And there's a loose, well, not a loose, but there's a.
That was the birds that took it bad.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah. Anyways, let's continue this conversation. Your thesis.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
That's what that's who I ran the thesis on. It was strippers in Chicago who who were paying their way through undergrad or grad school.
Sure.
According to them. You don't trust any of this.
Oh, it's all lies. It's all lies. Just the thing is, this is the thing. I could sit down with a guy and just tell him my life story, right?
And just lie the whole time?
No. Just tell, literally, just tell him my life story. Just tell him everything about me, right? Everything, I can tell him about that I do this podcast. I can tell him about my, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, well, thanks for telling me. I'm not going to give you any money. You know what I mean? And it's really? I just shared my life story with you. You're not going to give me any fucking money? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sort of just I just bared my soul to you. You know what I mean? You're not going to give me any fucking money.
So
I don't know.
Do you resent most of your customers?
Most of them, yeah. I don't care for them. I just, I don't know. Yeah. I honestly do not care for them. I actually recorded a conversation I had with a client.
You're playing.
I will. Oh my God.
What kind of neighborhood is the club in?
It's in Santa
Monica?
Yeah, edit that out. Yeah, it's in Santa Monica.
So we got 2 minutes of podcast.
Okay. This is what I deal with.
But I'd imagine a lot of wealthy people would go to a club on the west side.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't tip you still.
Play it into the microphone.
The thing is, it's big spenders. So it's there are nights where I go in, make zero, literally $0.
Right.
Nobody comes in, or I just don't get lucky and stuff. And then, but once or twice a week, I can make $500, $400 if I hustle, if I go there and I focus and I talk to guys and, you know, just sometimes, but I, you know, at the same time, like I, just because of my history of sexual assault and that sort of thing, like I go into work, like, you know, more sensitive, you know what I mean? So it actually makes, so I actually like kind of like, okay, that guy has bad vibes. Okay. This guy seems okay. You know what I mean?
So you could be turning down money.
Oh, like I mean, last week, like this guy came up to me. I was like stoned, you know what I mean? And so like this guy came up to me and asked me for a dance, and I was just like, no, I don't want to dance with you. Sorry. Like it was, I don't know, something about him was just like weird. I didn't want to be around him. And, you know, he didn't look weird. He didn't smell like nothing, you know, but I was just, yeah.
But if they smell, you leave immediately.
Oh God, if they smell, I mean, sometimes if I need the money, dude, I am not too proud to say I've danced from stinky guys, but you know, but
Here.
I don't know if you can. Okay, this is a client.
Oh, you played this out?
I didn't mean to be rude earlier.
I'll make it rain for you. I gave you 5 just to hang out with you.
That sounds good.
I should have given a precursor to what this guy.
She's busy because she's wearing the tank top over there. I talked to that chick and she doesn't want anything to do with me. She's in a bad mood. So, maybe I'll make it rain for her. Maybe I won't. What?
This is when he gets pissed.
Another $15 water? Sweetheart, I'll get you a drink, but I'm not paying $15 for a bottle of Fiji anymore. I'm through with that shit. Sorry, it's too much for a fucking bottle of water. Not when I'm getting Perrier and orange juice from fucking $1.
That's someone else? That's not good.
That's the waitress.
I'm spending $15 for a fucking bottle of Fiji, and I'm tipping you $5.
He's pissed about having to spend $15 on a bottle of Fiji water.
I love the song. It's just such a strip club song. It's unbelievable.
Besides that, right. But I'm not buying bitches Red Bull, and I'm not buying a large bottle of water anymore. They want a pair.
I'm with this guy. I'm not buying any bitches Red Bull.
Right. But I'm not bleeding money for no fucking reason. I'm having fun. I'll see you later, sweetheart. Maybe we'll have some fun. You know what I like about you?
What?
You've got the sexiest neck in the place, and I'm gonna
Sexiest neck.
He wanted to chop off my fucking head, dude. Like, I knew it.
I'm looking for a puppet.
Yeah, he was going to pay you extra.
Wait, you missed the best
Oh,
part.
at the very end?
He just said he is not looking for a puppet. He's looking for a playmate and walked off, and I almost threw up. It was just
He had a lot of lines prepared.
okay. He came.
He's
into,
very comfortable saying "make it rain" too.
He came into the club. Okay, this man. He looked like a fucked up Michael Bolton, like a Michael Bolton that just like got beat the shit out of. You know what I mean? Like you know, like Jared Leto in Fight Club. Like Jared
Sure.
Okay, he was Michael Bolton if he had gotten beaten that badly in his face, like you know, like just bad teeth, like really like crazy hair and stuff, just disgusting looking. And he comes in, and this is like early in the club. It's like 9 o'clock, so nobody's there, right? He comes in, he realizes he's the only person there, and then he makes an announcement in the club. He makes an announcement. Okay, he announces that he's going to be there. He's going to talk to every single girl there. He's going to buy one dance from one girl at the club, and then that girl is going to go home with him. He announced that in the club. And it was just like, and then so
he's nuts.
I know. And then he came up to me, and I was just like, no, get away from me. And then I was like, you know what? I need to actually record this guy. This guy is like crazy. And so I was just like, so
Where did you put the phone?
I just turned on the recorder and just had it on me and was just
Just, like,
holding it
holding
up
it?
to
Oh,
him
okay.
like this.
And he didn't care.
He
He's
didn't-
probably
he-
hammered.
He was hammered. So
Yeah.
I was just recording the conversation just like this, just like talking to him like this. You know what I mean? And because that's how fucked up they are. You know what I mean? Like guys, when guys are drunk, I mean, they don't notice anything. You know what I mean? They they don't notice. They don't.
Caroline,
notice
what
it.
have you done?
You know, I don't save it for my memoirs, I guess. I don't know. What?
Have you like robbed guys?
No, the official position of the Manic Pixie Dream Podcast is not to rob people. We do not advocate for robbing people.
So what do you do to these guys who are drunk?
They just hand you money, and you just ask for money, and they just hand you money.
They just keep giving you money.
You know, and it's like they get ideas about what's going to happen, you know, based on the power of suggestion.
And it never does, really.
No, and then it doesn't happen. And so they just, you know what I mean? And so you just keep the illusion going that, you know, that something's going to happen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's going to happen, just $20 more. It's going to happen, just $10 more. It's going to happen, just $50 more. You know what I mean? It's just keep the money, you know, just get the money.
We just tease them. The goal is to tease as much as humanly possible. Mm-hmm. As long as the guy doesn't ejaculate, you're making money. That's what I've heard. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
There's a strip club in Indiana where they had toilet seat covers that they would put over the guys. It's pretty disgusting.
I know. You know, and it's just like, I don't know. I
don't think there's a lot of that going on. That most guys just want companionship. They just want to talk to someone.
You know, honestly, like some of the more rewarding times at my job where it's like I really felt like I was helping someone. Sometimes guys just want to hug.
Yeah.
They just come in and they just want to just I've literally been
conversation.
I literally been in dances where the guy just sits up, puts his arm around me in a bear hug and just hugs me
for the whole song.
And it's
pretty horrifying.
No,
that's really creepy. That's creepier than saying you have a nice neck. That's really terrifying.
Honestly, I know that sounds weird,
but it's very weird.
Like,
is this guy autistic by any chance?
No, I mean it's lots of guys.
They just hold on to you.
Yeah.
Were you frightened a little bit?
No. Honestly, if you can I don't know. I feel like maybe at my job, like I've kind of gotten good at sensing energy and sensing vibes and that sort of thing. So it's like there's something in me that's compassionate. You know what I mean? So when like somebody does that, it's just like I kind of feel compassion for them. You know what I mean? This person needs comfort. You know what I mean? And they're coming to me to be that person to give them comfort, you know? And so, yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, that's actually a part of the job that I've felt like okay about, you know? And I don't know. Maybe I know it's weird, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like one time there was like this kid, he was like a freshman in college and stuff, like wasn't getting along at school, missed home, you know? Mm-hmm. And he just wanted a hug, you know? He just wanted a naked chick to hug him, you know? That's what he wanted.
That's the part that's a little weird.
That I'm naked?
And that he's paying you to hug him. To me, that's the odd part. You know, needing a hug is a human experience. Everybody needs hugs occasionally.
But still, I mean, like it's a platypus. Like it exists. You know what I mean? It's just
platypus.
You don't know what the purpose is, but it's there. And
I got you.
You know, I don't know. It's a weird creation of the system. You know.
Well, these are just lonely guys. I think there's more of an explanation than a platypus. They're weird, lonely guys with money.
Yeah. But tell me about your thesis. Okay, so what did you learn in your thesis? Like what was like some of the surprises?
Not much, Caroline. What I learned, you completely disproved. If you're right, you're completely disproving what I learned. What I learned is that women are actually paying their way through grad school by stripping. And what you had to say about that is that they're not at all.
One of them might be. Okay, there is a girl at the club I work at that she's in school. She's a real go-getter, came from a shit family. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's making it happen. You know?
can make tons of money.
Yeah.
If you work enough, you can make $100,000 a year, which is tuition and enough to live on.
You have to suck dick for that for $100,000 a year. That's the thing.
So I was talking to a lot of women who were sucking dick to get through law school. It sounds like. Maybe, or they were just lying.
Yeah,
Are there strip clubs that pay better? They're ones that
mine pays pretty good. It's $40 a dance. It's $600 VIP. It's at the club I work at. So that's
Right.
like, yeah. So
that's about as good as it gets.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
So that's what I learned. Not much.
Okay.
Big waste of time.
All right. Well. All right.
I mean, I'm sure nobody's ever come into your job and told you that they're doing research.
I feel like you're a pretty good gauge of bullshit, though. Did you feel like people were lying to you?
The ones who I spent the most time with probably were not.
Yeah, I mean, did they seem... Also, I feel like on a certain level, you were in Chicago.
Yes.
So if they were going to grad school in Chicago, they were probably going to a pretty good grad school.
Sure.
There are a lot of schools in Chicago. It's a
Are
big
they?
city. Yeah.
Okay,
Did
but
they seem intelligent?
Let me tell
some
you
of them
something.
were.
Let me
Some of
tell you
them were
something.
not quite some intelligent.
Okay, so I did an exchange program in France, right?
Okay.
And so I met this guy there, and he, his dad would take him to strip clubs, right?
Mm.
And so he was like really cool with strippers just because his dad would take him to strip clubs, you know? And so I met him, and he spoke English, and that's why he and I, you know, would talk a lot because he just spoke really good English. And everything I just said was a fucking lie. I never did an exchange program in France, and I never met a guy whose dad took him to strip clubs, you know?
You're good. So you're saying you're good at lying.
Yeah, like you just make shit up to people and just tell, you know what I mean? Like it's
And that's a skill that you've honed as a stripper, you think?
yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, actors do it, writers do it. I mean, you're just narrating. You know what I mean? You're narrating a fantasy. You know, that's
Whatever they want to hear.
what you wanted to hear. Who were the girls you were fucking at the time? Were they, you know, they were graduate students?
What, the strippers?
No, at the time when you went.
When I was in school?
Yeah,
So Carolina was a lot of people.
but they were like girls that were like went to school, right? There
were girls who were in school with me.
Yeah.
And
So that's
and
okay.
was
There you go.
Girls in the city.
Oh, I'm in graduate school. Yeah, I'm one of those girls. I'm one of those girls that's in graduate school.
Wait, did I have sex with you?
No, you know what I mean. Like I'm telling, like you know what
No,
I mean.
sure,
like
sure.
yeah, it's
You can pretend.
Oh,
I don't know.
You're saying that the girls at the strip club pretend to be the thing they think the guy is interested
But that's
in.
Yeah.
that wasn't always the case. That's an interesting point, but that wasn't always the case.
Well-
A lot of the time when I said I was doing research to
Mm-hmm.
these girls, they would say, "Oh, that's okay," and they just
but
walk
that
away.
sounds like your lie.
No, exactly. No, they would think I was a creepy dude who just wanted to talk to them and be like, "All right, you're bizarre. I'm walking away." Or they go, "That's boring. Are you going to tip me?" No. All right, I'm going to leave.
yeah.
That happened probably 75% of the time.
I would have been one of those girls. I would have said you
Right.
had to tip me.
There you go.
Yeah. For my
Or
shit.
like, why are you actually here? And I'd say I'm doing research, and they just walk away.
Mm.
Or that's boring. You're boring.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
You're gay.
Yeah, you're
That's-
gay. Do people say that? Still?
You know, I actually there was like this kid, and
You're gay. Do you say that a lot to your customers?
there was like this. No, I don't. A lot of other girls do. That's
Well, and that gets them to tip because they want to prove that they're not gay.
yeah.
I'm not gay. I'll give you any amount of money you want.
This
Which
one time, I felt really bad for this boy because he was like his
How
friends
much
were
will
all.
it cost to show you I'm not
Yeah,
gay?
exactly. I'm totally not gay. You want $20?
$20. That's a gay.
Yeah, $100. Does that mean I'm not gay? I'll give you 1,000 if it means I'm not gay.
I mean,
See,
if you can
Dad?
tap into that, I mean, that's the thing. You have to tap into people's insecurities. You know what I
Right,
mean? So that's something a guy's insecure about. You'll tap into it, and it worked once. This group of like boys came in, like young boys, you know, and
How young?
like 18, 19.
Okay.
And so they were all sitting together, and all of the boys went into dances, and then one of them, just sat there and didn't do dances, and then girls would come up to him and ask him
And
for a
call him
dance because
gay.
his friends, yeah, and then these two girls were like, I don't know what that guy's problem. All his friends are doing dances. Why won't he do dances? It's probably because he's gay, you know. And then he the boy heard it, you know what I mean? I saw that he noticed that they were talking about it because they were talking in his proximity, you know what I mean, to kind of make him feel bad, you know. And so I went up to him and I was like, all right, he's ready, you know, and I was like, he wants to prove he's not gay now. And so I went up to him and I asked him if he wanted to get a dance, and he said yes. And but I felt like he had a boner, you know, and so it just and so you know, and it's And so
Maybe he's self-conscious about his boner.
no, I don't know.
Maybe that's why he wasn't getting
Most
dances.
people you're giving dances to not.
Yeah, I mean,
Not always.
If you can feel it, you can. You know, it's. I don't care as long as you can't feel it. You know what I mean? And
Seems
have
like
to,
you care.
Sit further down on the lap. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I just don't want to
You don't
feel
wanna
like
feel
I
it.
fucking dick. You know, and so, anyways, and so
That is sort of the point. Like
So-
a successful dance probably ends in a boner, doesn't it?
I don't care as long as I don't feel it, you know. And not my. It's nothing I think about. It's not my job
Yeah,
to make
no.
sure a guy has a boner. Not my job. And
Of course not.
yeah, not my problem.
I thought that's literally the job.
Well, no, her job is to get paid to dance. And
yeah.
but if she's getting if the guy's paying you, he's probably got a boner, right?
I don't know. As long as I can't feel it. But
Okay.
So anyways, so he
yeah, that makes
said.
sense.
So this is
Probably
what
not fun to feel boners. I
the
understand.
boy asked me to tell my friends that he had a boner.
What?
He was like, "Could you tell the other girls that I had a boner and I'm not gay?"
Whoa. So they just beat him down.
Yeah, he was really insecure. And because he was like the smallest of them, you know, he was the one that probably couldn't afford to get dances. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
true.
like,
There's a distinct relationship between size and money.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Tall
And
men
so-
have more money.
And then I was like, of course
they?
I will.
I don't know.
And
Maybe they do actually.
You know what? And I did. I went and told both those girls. I was like, by the way, he got a boner. He's not gay. And then
What did they say?
they were like, oh, okay. I don't know.
They didn't give a shit. They just wanted his money.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's interesting. Bringing up the fact that men can be very insecure in strip clubs too.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not super fun as a woman.
Yeah,
You get
'cause
treated weirdly.
Guys
So do
want to
guys.
feel like a provider. And if that's their insecurity, they don't feel like they're a good enough provider. A stripper can provide him with the feeling of feeling like a provider.
Have you tapped
And-
into this fetish where men just give women money? There's it's like
Oh, where
stripping
you
but
treat
without
them
stripping.
like shit
No,
and
no,
they
no.
give you money?
It's like over the
Oh,
internet.
I've always wanted to do that.
No, there's a fetish. You should look this up. It's a fetish where you basically webcam with them for a second, and you're just like, "I need money," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you money." That's it. So it's stripping without stripping.
That is my dream job. Thank you for
Yeah,
telling me
so
about this.
it's stripping without the boners. You could do it. It's actually like a very common fetish, as far as fetishes go.
You know, why do people go to graduate school when you can literally just videotape yourself to a guy saying, I need money, and they'll send you money?
Yeah, well, it's because I'm a guy. That's why I went to grad school.
I've been sending those videos out.
I don't think.
Nothing.
Hey, you want to give me some money? I don't think it's gonna work if
Those
it's me.
Those videos only work with my parents.
No, if you're a hot chick, it'll work. Sure. That video is not gonna pay off for me. I don't
Not
think.
with my parents.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna start getting a hot chick to ask my parents for money. So that is interesting. Men are insecure in strip clubs, and you should stop stripping and just start asking directly for money from like investment bankers who fetishize giving money away. Something to think about.
It is something definitely to consider. Okay,
But
Tinder.
only to strippers, not to the poor.
Well, you can just look at this apartment. You can say you're poor.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying that the investment bankers only fetishize giving the money to good-looking women.
Yeah.
Not to the poor.
Not
They don't fetishize.
It's got
that.
nothing to do with how
In
much
fact,
money they have.
Arguably fetishize taking it from them.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So whatever, you'll get the money.
Yeah, I will.
Tinder. Are you on Tinder as well?
No.
Have you ever dated someone you danced for?
Yeah.
See, truth comes out.
Oh, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, I just there was this guy and
Someone you met dancing?
Yeah.
Just one guy.
No,
Couple?
two.
3 or
But
4.
there's the other guy was abusive and stuff, and it went really bad, and it was really
You're a stripper and you met an abusive guy at a strip club.
yeah.
It's a
What
big
are you gonna do?
Big surprise.
Yeah, I know. And so, but I had dated a guy before, and we literally he was just in love with me, you know, and just from the get go, just totally in love with me.
So he came in a bunch to the strip club.
Yeah, and so he was my regular, and and I was, and he spent a lot, you know what I mean, just like this total trust fund kid, you know, like young, good looking, had a really great job. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, what is your deal, dude? Like, what is going on with you? You know what I mean? Why are you here? You know? And,
what was his deal?
He was neglected as a kid. He was just super neglected. Both his parents were like rich people who worked a lot, and and his dad was not in the picture, and his mom she died really young, and so he had like a trust fund from her, and you know, and still, you know, from his dad and stuff, but I drove him home one night. He came in because he was an alcoholic, like just like a total alcoholic, just and he once he came in to see me, we spent hours together, right? He had no memory of it.
Oh.
Like no memory of seeing me. And so one night he came in drunk and he passed out, and so I just asked the bouncers, like, look, this is my client, can I just drive him home, you know? And so they said yes, and so I drove him back to his apartment. Like, I helped him back to his apartment and stuff, which is like, don't do this, never do this. This was like me being totally,
for all the strippers out there,
yeah, just like, this is totally unsafe, like never do this. But at the same time, like, I don't know, like, it was just I just wanted to help him, and I just felt really bad for him. And then so from there, like, I was, you know, he and I just started seeing each other outside the club, and he would just give me money, you know what I mean? And just without the, you know,
like a sugar daddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so for 4 months, like, we never kissed, nothing, like 4 months of that, of just him pursuing me. And
there was no desire on his part?
Oh yeah, there was, for sure. But he just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. He probably slept with hookers or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, no, maybe he didn't. I don't want to say that. But anyway, I don't want to say. I don't.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. And then.
Wait, you dated for months and he never kissed
and
you?
nothing happened. No kissing.
Sounds
No.
like you guys were
No
friends.
sex.
We were friends.
Well,
but then from there.
he was a patron, basically.
Yeah, and then from there, he I don't know. Well, we started dating, like, it became romantic. You know, he grew on me after the 4 months, you know, and
That's how you get to Caroline, guys. Pay her rent 4 months later.
I'm yours. Yeah, and so he helped me. He just did a favor for me. Like, it was weird. Like, he just did this really nice favor for me. I was going to visit friends for Thanksgiving, and my car, I needed, like, they were full with parking spaces, and so I had to park at the airport, which is like $50 a day. And I was like, shit, I can't afford that, you know? And so I called him and I was like, can you come pick up my car? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll just park it at my work. And so he he just Ubered to my car, got my car, drove it to his work, parked it at his office, and
Nice thing to do.
I know, exactly. And it was just like having like a friend and having someone. He was my person that I could call and depend on. And you know, if I needed something that wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't money. It was just him going out of his way to do something nice for me. And so that was, so then I got back from, you know, and then so we started dating, and then he asked me to move in with him, and then we tried it for a few days.
And nothing had happened physically at this point?
No, not until Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
And then we started a romantic relationship, and then after a while, he asked me to move in with him, and then we tried it for a few days, and it did not work. He was just, he was really not in, he was an alcoholic, you know, and it was just, so it didn't work for the 3 days I called it off. I was like, no, we can't live together. Sorry. And then, kind of shortly after that, we broke up, or we stopped seeing each other, and, the money was gone, and yeah, it was.
So it sounds like it went really well with that guy.
Kind of, you know, for meeting somebody at the club, I mean, that's like, yeah, I'd say that went pretty okay compared to how it was the time after, you know, or the.
Not good.
No, not good at all. No.
So in general, stay away from that.
I think so. Yeah.
And you prefer Tinder? No.
Not on Tinder.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
I don't date, actually.
At all?
I'm abstinent. It's this month. I've been abstinent for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was the impetus for that?
I just I hooked up with a guy and it was really bad, and he turned on me and was just treated me really badly afterwards, and then shortly after that I was sexually assaulted by like a guy who came on to my podcast as like a guest.
What?
I know, and I like
During the podcast?
no,
Was
not
Josh
I
here?
wasn't produced.
no, he wasn't. No, and it was
Josh let you be sexually assaulted?
No.
He just sat back and watched it?
I was not.
He's on his phone the whole... What a fucking asshole.
Oh my god, wasn't it like some documentary crews like they can't interfere with their subjects or something like that?
Right. Like reality shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
But
Getting murdered.
yeah, and so I guess I just
Rolling. I interfered
Wow. So, okay.
in my documentary.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. He's a sociopath. You
Hung out with him after the podcast?
We were friends for about a year before he did my podcast, and I knew him from the comedy scene and stuff. And but this was my mistake. I told him all my tics. You know what I mean? I told and that was kind of what we. And so I just trusted him. You know what I mean? And that's I didn't realize like what a problem is to tell people what your tics are, because then people are like, oh well, that's how you abuse people. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, and so I
Tell them what you're insecure about.
I know, because I was thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna tell everybody everything, and this will educate people, and this will educate women and stuff, and this is gonna help, and this is gonna.
You just gave him material.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so but yeah, he came over and like because he and I had been physical like twice before, like nothing below
before the podcast.
Yeah, nothing below the belt, like
a lot of neck stuff.
Yeah, a lot of neck stuff, a lot of necking.
Uh-huh.
And and then so I didn't want it to happen again, and so he asked if he can come over, and it was in the morning. It was like 9:30 in the morning, and so he came over, and I texted him, and I was just like, okay, look, I want to be friends, but I don't want what happened like the last few times we hung out to happen again. And so as long as you're okay with that, and as long as we're just friends, of course you can come over. Because he didn't have a place to live at the time, so I think he was like couch surfing and staying with friends. So I just think I just
homeless coke addict.
So
sounds like a good guy.
Well, he like did performances at Laugh Factory and shit. So I mean, I don't know, which maybe is
obviously paying him well.
I guess not, but and I don't know. Like I saw on his Venmo that he
Did it say Coke next to it?
No, I saw on his Venmo like a pretty famous comedian had given him money.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
Yeah. So like I think like people were giving it like I think so. So he's.
I think for everyone out there, it'd be pretty easy to find this guy at this point.
Yeah.
On Venmo.
Yeah, and so but he we were, because I don't have a couch, so we were like lying on the bed and we put on a movie or something, and he just reached in and grabbed my breast, and then I was just like, no, don't do that, and then and he was like, okay, and then I got up, and because I was like gonna like yell at him, you know what I mean, like, hey, look, what did I say, you know what I mean, like if you want to hang out, but don't fucking touch me, you know what I mean. And then so I was getting up, and then he put his hand in the elastic. I was wearing leggings, and he put his hands on the elastic of my leggings, and he wanted to see how I was shaved.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then he was just jerking off to me, and I was like telling him to stop, and I was like crying and stuff, and it was just.
Was this Louis C.K. by any chance?
It was post Louis C.K. that he did this, which is just like, how dumb do you have to be?
Well,
you know what I mean? It's just
Louis
like
C.K. A lot of people admire him. He's giving people young comics ideas. It sounds like.
I mean, honestly, the Louis C.K. thing is just so.
People want to be like Louis. I get it.
It's so confusing. Because it's just like, what scale because it's sexual battery to jerk off in front of a woman without her consent.
Right.
Like if you're standing in a room and there's a woman there.
He also
and you're
grabbed
off.
on you before that. He's doing a lot of things wrong, obviously, and you said no.
Yeah, I did, and but I was I was mollifying the situation. I didn't want the friendship to end, and
I think at that point it should probably end. Right?
I'm pretty fucked up, and that's why I don't date, because it's just if I date somebody and he's abusive knows that he can be abusive and get away with it, then I'm in big trouble, you know, because I'm just not, I don't have the life skills to defend myself in these situations, you know, I just don't. And so, you know, and this man knew that and took advantage of that. And so I just, I don't know, until I'm in a place where I have the life skills to know I'm safe and I can protect myself, then I just don't feel safe dating anyone. And, you know, so yeah. And I'm kind of angry about it, because it's just like,
I would be.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm pissed. I'm so pissed, that he did what he did. And I'm so pissed, that he got away with it. And, you know, because the thing is that I have no evidence. It all happened behind closed doors. I didn't have any bruises. And
it's your word against his. Is he denying it?
When the cops called him, he just basically hung up on them. He said that they got the wrong number, because they called me. They called me and they said that they might have had.
You can hang up on the cops?
I mean, I had no evidence. They had nothing to bring him in for. So they just wanted to call and talk to him and question him. And so when they called him to question him about what happened, he just said that they had the wrong number and he hung up on them. And then I know this because they called me and they said, "Can you give us his number again? Because we might have written it down wrong." And they were like, "Nope, that's it. Thanks." And then, so that's that. That's it. Nobody's going to jail, you know?
Right. But he hasn't bothered you since then.
Still, I mean, like, I'm worried. I mean, it's just, I want to do well in comedy, you know, and it's like, man, I'm going to have to see this guy again, you know? I'm going to have to.
You could move. No, I mean, there's so many people doing comedy. It's not going to be fun.
I mean, honestly, like,
it's pretty easy to avoid
thought about moving
people.
to New York. Like, I've seriously.
To get away from this guy?
Yeah, and to, you know, a couple of other things. You know, I've thought about moving to New York just to, like, because I looked into it. I looked into what clubs I could work at. I looked into where I could live.
New York's a great city. Josh agrees with that.
Yeah, but I need this job.
Let's all move to New York. Why not? I got things to get away from.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Make like a 90s sitcom. Definitely the odd man out in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. And it's just, I don't know. I have to move on. And, you know, probably I think like stripping is sort of like festering it, you know.
You're ready to stop.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know what to do. You know, it's just
fetish work. You got to segue into that.
I know.
Dress up like a bunny.
I know.
That sort of stuff.
I know.
Eat fruit. People pay you just to eat fruit. Eat an orange.
Yeah.
Peel an orange. Oh yeah, peel that. Hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
Or would you enjoy like the kind of fetish stuff where you beat guys up?
Yes.
How about
yeah. I have a friend that took some classes and she was telling me about it. Yeah, and I was just, and she made it like, honestly, like it's.
You can make good money.
You can, and it's not like you can. The problem is, I think, like...
it could be kind of cathartic for you. I feel like you might take it too far and just start beating the living shit out of a guy.
Lean Werner.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be really fun. You like step on a guy's ball bag and stuff. That's fun, right?
Yes.
Hit it with a baseball bat.
All right, you piece of shit. Now you're going to eat rat poison off the floor.
And then he's dead. That'd be fun, right?
Okay, no. Not for me. Okay, but you go on Tinder. You're on Tinder.
Yeah, I'm on Tinder. A little bit.
Any success?
I don't know. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a waste of time. And actually, the thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is very inconsequential given everything you've talked about so far,
okay,
is like, it's not even a big deal. I'm gonna come across like an asshole misogynist for saying this.
What? You?
I love women.
You're with women.
I believe women.
Don't believe women. Believe, like, I have an issue with that. Like, believe women. You know what I mean? Well, because the thing is, like, believe all women. Some women are lying. Some women are.
You shouldn't believe anyone.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just like listen to women.
Sure.
Hear her out. You know what I mean? Take what she's saying seriously. You
That's
know,
a good rephrasing.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just because you never know if she's telling the truth. You don't want to be that piece of shit that's like, oh, well, were you wearing a mini skirt in that dark alleyway? You know what I mean? You don't want to like be that asshole, you know? And so I just think like, yeah, just like listen, hear her out. You know, I mean, there are, I mean, honestly, like there are cases that have come out where I'm just like, oh, that bitch is lying. You know, like, I don't believe her. You know,
Like what?
I don't want to say.
Maybe one of them.
I don't know. Honestly, I think that Brett Kavanaugh thing was like, I thought that was pretty sketch.
You think so?
Yeah. I just thought, you know, like.
I disagree on that one.
I mean,
Well, there aren't any. Are there any repercussions for Brett Kavanaugh? None. So
no, exactly. And so I mean, it's just like,
No
but at
big
the same
deal.
time, like her story was really inconsistent, and a lot of weird stuff happened and stuff. So I mean, honestly, I don't know what to think and stuff. But at the same time, like, I do think that, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, just what I'm doing, you know what I mean? I'm building a podcast on my abuse, you know, which I have a right to do, you know, and, you know, I have a right to use my life experiences and capitalize on it, you know?
Yes.
But at the same time, like, you can abuse and the Me Too stuff. It is currency. It is like, I mean, I'm proving that I'm using my abuse as currency to succeed, you know?
Any allegations are given a lot of leeway right now.
So, I mean, like why wouldn't somebody do that even if it wasn't true, you know?
Sure.
So it's like,
I get that.
and then also I just like, what bothered me about the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing with his accuser was that
The glasses, right? They were too big.
Yeah.
She looked silly.
Yeah, that. And then, you know, she had that weird, like, she had, you know, she has like resting sad face. She's just always looking like,
no, I agree.
know?
I agree.
And
I think what she probably is telling the truth to some degree, but she had a stupid face, right?
Yeah. Didn't like her face. And, but this is my issue, is that everyone defended her credibility with, oh, well, she's a lawyer, she's a professor, she's wealthy, she went to this school and stuff. You know what I mean?
I've been around those people. They lie too. Everybody lies.
Exactly. And so it's just
That's
like,
not to say that she was lying, but she's capable of lying.
So it's like, what if I went to high school with Brett Kavanaugh?
Intense thing
and
to
what if
lie about and put
And also-
yourself through.
Also, that goofy face. What a dumb face.
But still, I mean, when people are politically motivated, you know, because this is my thing. Like, this is where I kind of like, even if she is lying, this is how I would defend her.
Okay.
If you were a German in Nazi Germany and you were a partisan and you had a family of
I wasn't
Jews
expecting that.
and you had a family of Jews living underneath your floorboards, right? Okay, this is the hypothetical.
You gotta get the Jews, right?
No, this is the
Okay.
hypothetical. So this is I've set the stage, right? You're a German, you're a partisan in Nazi Germany, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a family of Jews living underneath your floorboards, right?
Is this an anti-Semitic thing?
No.
Okay.
So Germans come to your door. What do? Do you tell them the truth? You know what I mean? Do you tell the truth?
No, but you don't go to the German high courts and go, guys, I'm just coming here to let everyone know
I
don't have any Jews under my
But
floorboards.
I mean, with stuff that's going on
you
in
don't
this
go
country.
on TV and go, I'm just here.
You don't seek out a
to
platform.
Speak and say,
You just hide
I
and
don't
lie.
have any
But
Jews under
the
my
circumstances
floor.
are totally different, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
I would
well,
argue. I would argue.
my point is, before you argue, my point is,
I like this analogy.
my point is, for what someone like Brett Kavanaugh's accuser would think is at stake, it would be worth lying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because what is at stake? I mean, what's going on in this country right now? It's all a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you thought you could save a family of Jews from being slaughtered in the Holocaust by lying and saying somebody raped you, you would do it, you know?
Sure.
A couple of things. One, she never said he raped her. Two, she sent letters to them before he was even picked, when he was just on the short list, saying, this guy did this stuff to me.
Sure.
I'm trying to let you guys know.
Right.
So
Sure.
you can go with one of the other complete pieces of shit on your list of pieces of shit to give this job to.
Sure.
That's the other thing. They're all kind of pieces of shit.
Sure. She's just like, well, this piece of shit,
This
I
is
haven't.
some somewhat concrete evidence that this guy's a piece of shit, but you're just going to hire another piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh,
So Tinder.
Tinder.
Back to my misogynistic thing.
Okay.
Girls, sometimes they show up significantly fatter
Yeah, we do that.
than their photos.
I know.
What's the right thing to do in that situation?
I don't know. I'll be honest.
I know for me what it is. Just have sex with him.
This is what I do is that I fish for a compliment and I ask guys if I look like I do on the photos.
Smart.
And then.
So you do use Tinder.
My suggestion is I would just sit through coffee, be polite.
I'm a fetishist.
Because what if she had something about her lifestyle that you disapproved of or that you didn't like, what if her
thyroid
politics
problem or something.
Yeah. What if there was something else about her that was, made her not, made you not want to date her? I mean, it'd be the same thing,
No, it's not quite the same thing.
Appearance?
Well, if you're on a Tinder date with someone and they're coming over to your apartment, appearance is paramount.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
What about FaceTiming? I think
the appearance app.
Yeah, it totally is. I think most dating apps function that way.
But definitely more so than other ones.
What is the worst case scenario?
She weighs 80 pounds more than her photos.
Really?
Yeah.
She liked you and she wanted to go out with you. Poor thing.
Yeah, and she did.
And Ben had sex with her.
And I had sex with her.
Really? Did you?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
So everyone wins.
So what's the problem? You feel a little cheated.
What's the right thing for me to say? Because she knows what's going on. She's like, I tricked this guy. I'm here. It's a little uncomfortable. She's probably done it a bunch. She's got the dating app up.
My suggestion is just sit through a cup of coffee, call it off after half an hour. Just say, So
invite her into my apartment, brew coffee.
Just, have somebody call you. Text somebody, can you call me in 20 minutes and say that there's an emergency?
Josh, I'm in an emergency. There's a really fat girl in my apartment. It's an emergency. And she was talking to me about how she has sleep paralysis from stress. And she was like, my stress manifests in weird. I'm like, does it manifest by eating a lot?
Oh my God. I stress eat.
We can't use any of this.
I stress eat. I can be such a cow sometimes.
It kind of is at this point.
What, this is the one that's going to take you down?
Nothing's going to take me. I mean, if anything's going to take me.
Either everything's taking you down or nothing.
At this point, everything's going to take me down.
No, the official position of the Manic Pixie Dream Podcast is to create unity through understanding.
So
I
everyone
understand.
remember that when you're posting your tweets.
Unity through understanding.
What I'm trying to do is create some unity through understanding this fucking fat chick who showed up in my apartment.
Okay, all right.
So can you help me with that?
The appropriate thing to do is to let your whole body collapse and turn your head and make a really disappointed face, and then act real passive aggressive through the date. Then.
Well, part of me wanted to just talk to her about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't.
I should have. My options
but you were
were
like, I really want to bet.
Well, okay, so you talked to her about it. You talked to her about it. That would probably really hurt her feelings. It would probably upset her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also,
she has you in kind of a chokehold.
She's doing it to herself to some degree.
That's true.
And also, it's not the end of the world. It was fine.
You could just choose to be the bad guy and just be honest with her and just be like, I'm
sorry
if you
the
don't look like your photos. I'm not attracted
to you. By
showing
showing up super fat, she makes me the bad guy, no matter what I do.
Yeah.
Because I had sex with her. I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
If I say no to her.
I think you were the good guy. Until now.
Until I was honest about it.
Until this part here, you were.
I was a good guy.
I mean, that's what she wanted.
That's what she wanted.
We
did it.
You up again later?
No.
So yeah.
Because she knows what she did.
Yeah.
She knows that I'm not going to want to do it again.
How was it?
Not great.
Why?
What do you mean why?
Because she was fat?
She's humongous.
Oh.
She was like I started getting naked and she was like, I'm like, yeah, we're going to have sex. We have to get naked. She's like, we have to get naked?
She wants to wear a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm like, do you want a big t-shirt?
Can't this be like when I go in the pool?
Yeah, I know.
You want a onesie?
Yeah.
God.
Get a little
why is this the episode I chose to mic myself up
on? So I either confront her and say, what's going on here? Go, say no, or walk away, have a coffee with her and ghost her, or have sex with her. You can't win.
Have a coffee with her and ghost her.
But that's bad too.
No, it's not.
Ghosting is bad from what I'm told.
Ghosting?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Ghosting's not bad. Ghosting's good.
You don't.
Is this podcast pro ghosting?
Mean, if you've been, honestly, I've had a guy ghost me after like a few dates, and I thought that was kind of rude.
Right.
You know.
After one date, I guess it's not a big deal.
No, after one date, that's fine.
Maybe that's the most polite thing to do.
Yeah,
Have
exactly.
a really uncomfortable conversation.
Well, because
and then ghost her.
Because then you don't ghost, and you're like, hey, I just didn't like you, and then I write some message back like, fuck you. No.
No. Ghosting maintains self-esteem for everybody to some degree. If you both ghost each other.
Well, why don't you just? If it happens again, why not just bite the bullet and just tell her and be honest and see what happens? You know.
Well, Caroline, I'm kind of hoping this doesn't happen again.
Well,
it might. No, Tinder is kind of a breeding ground for that. For sort of like complimentary pictures, and then you show up and you're not the person that you thought would be. But also, I've had it happen the other way too.
Where a girl was more
much
attractive?
much more attractive.
Just isn't. She's not photogenic. Oh, okay.
Or has a weird photo up.
Like a weird photo? Like of what?
When I was in New Mexico, I met up with this woman who had a weird photo, like where she's got something covering her head and it's really blurry, and she's using a filter. And I was like, this chick's gonna be disgusting.
Then why would you meet with her if you knew
she was great? I don't know. It was meant to be. She was fine. She looked good.
Okay.
And it was in New Mexico. I was bored.
Sure.
There's nothing going on in New Mexico.
People keep confusing me with Rick Cesario, and it's making me wonder if I'm bigger than I think I am.
That's hilarious.
It's happened multiple times.
The funny part is that it's very insulting to Rick Cesario because he's like 22.
He's over 10 years younger than me. But I also think he's over 20 pounds bigger than me.
And he looks ancient for how old he is.
It's amazing how the mistake is equally insulting
for
to
both of you.
us.
Yeah, totally.
It's a mistake.
That's quite a predicament for both of you guys.
That is uniquely insulting both ways.
On both ends.
Yeah. My mom gets super offended when people tell her that I look like her.
Your mom gets offended?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she doesn't think that she and I look alike.
Do you think she's better looking than you?
Yeah.
What an asshole.
I know.
Where does she live, your mom?
My hometown.
Where's your hometown?
Oh, in Alaska.
You're from Alaska?
Yeah.
That explains a lot, Jack.
Yeah, I remember people would be like, you look just like your mother. And she'd be like, what? No, she doesn't. She has brown hair. No.
You're from Anchorage?
No, I'm from Juneau.
Juneau, Alaska.
Yeah. 30,000 people.
Wow.
Yes.
When did you move?
It would have been... I remember it because it was the second Harry Potter of the two-parter, the last one. So it was
I usually
the second one. That was
view
the first,
history in Harry Potter's as well.
Yeah, so that was the first movie I saw in LA. Was that second Harry Potter?
Second Harry Potter.
Not the second Harry Potter, but the last one, the seventh one, part 2. So the very last Harry Potter.
Was that like 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's been about 10 years. Yeah.
Alaska.
I know.
I don't know anybody from Alaska. Is there like an Alaskan community here in Los Angeles?
Yeah, people move here, I think there's this girl who is like, I think Miss Alaska or something like that. And she's an actress and she like does television and stuff. And people ask me all the time if I know her. And I'm like, I have no idea who that is and stuff. But, so I guess there's like this woman who's like Miss Alaska, who's like now like a television actress in LA.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Miss Alaska.
I know.
So when you did Tinder, everyone was happy to see you.
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it was just like dating. You know what I mean? Like it was just, it's like speed dating. That's what it is. It's just like, you're just like going through like, people and stuff. And then I don't know, like it was weird. Like, like getting to know somebody by reading their profile, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes there'd be like profiles where like, I remember like one where it was just like, is this like a troll account? Like, is this real? Cause is this like guy like on here just to troll women? Cause it was just so ridiculous. This guy was just like, his profile photo was him lying naked on the beach, Totally
naked?
Yes, totally naked.
Penis out?
Yes. I assume so. He was facing away.
I'm surprised he wasn't banned.
He was facing away to the sunset. So
he wasn't banned from Tinder?
He was on a nude beach. No, he wasn't. That's the problem with Tinder. And he wasn't.
I've been banned from Tinder.
Julia Manchin's banned from Tinder.
Was she?
Who was?
For what?
I don't remember. Have to ask her.
You kind of remind me of Julia a little bit.
Julia'd be a good guest on that
She'd
show.
be great.
She got banned from Tinder.
Julia
I guess so. Okay. But you got banned from Tinder.
Yeah, I got banned from Tinder. I was young.
What did you do?
Stupid.
What did you do?
Remember they used to have moments on Tinder? Where it was like an Instagram moment or story?
No, that would have been before or after my time.
Okay, it was like an Instagram story.
Uh,
And I just put a picture of my dick up as my story. And I got banned. And as long as I don't use my Facebook and I just use my phone number, I can still use it. I got banned through Facebook on Tinder.
well, okay.
I got a bunch of likes too. I got like 40 likes, then I got banned.
So,
all that it takes is one person to not like it, and then you get banned. Well, I'm just stunned that this naked guy. Yeah, I guess it is. I'm stunned that this naked guy wasn't banned from Tinder.
yeah, well, he wasn't showing. You could just see like his like butt crack, on the beach.
Oh, no penis.
Yeah, no penis. And then his handle was like, I'm in a relationship, but it's an open relationship. I want to do back massages and jacuzzi and hot tubs and spa days and that sort of like all these things. You pay, you host and stuff. So it's like this guy was basically like, he's like putting himself out there.
He's
like,
a
I'm available for all of these things, but it's all up to you to make it happen. And I'm just available for it. Yeah. It was just
And
weird.
you matched with him?
No, I just saw his profile up there and just noticed it and I screenshot it and stuff, but I don't know. Tinder is weird because it's like I feel like guys would message me things just to upset me. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
I want you to sit on my face.
In that
and
way,
stuff,
it's
where
similar
just
to Twitter. People just try to piss each other off.
Yeah, exactly. And so Tinder, it's like there are guys that like maybe they just like you say something in your profile that they don't like, oh, I'm, like you say your zodiac sign. They're like, your zodiac sign is Cancer. That means you want me to fuck you in the ass. You know what I mean? And then you're just like, and it's just.
I've had girls on Tinder where I was having a seemingly good conversation with. Then they asked me what my sign was.
And they freak out?
I told them Pisces, and just without another word, like...
That's insane.
What's wrong with Pisces? I feel like Scorpios...
Are you into astrological signs?
Well, here's the
Pisces
thing.
are open mic comics, don't make that much money.
Right. I think it might have been the open mic comic.
No. She didn't know that. I think
Right.
was like when I was on hiatus from doing comedy.
Okay.
I think since
I've had
been doing
experiences-
comedy, I haven't really been doing Tinder.
Oh, interesting.
Being a stripper, it's sort of the official religion of strippers. You know what I mean? Zodiac signs. So I mean, like I'm kind of like I practice astrology as sort of like a means of honoring my
Who are you even
community.
directing it towards? You care about the patrons sign?
Oh yeah, that's a good way of starting conversation. Like, what
sure,
zodiac
sure.
sign
That
are
makes
you?
sense.
What zodiac? Okay,
And then it feels like flirting for them.
What zodiac sign are you?
Oh, we're doing a role play?
Yeah. What zodiac sign are you?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh my god, I love Scorpios. That means
It's funny because when you were out of character, you just said stay away from Scorpio.
that means you're a good cook. Are you a good cook?
Good cook?
Yeah. Are
Are you just making shit up?
Yes. No, but like, oh my god, like, so you're a Scorpio. That means you like to cook, right? And then it's like, oh, I do like to.
Yeah,
cook.
I love cooking.
Yeah, it's
I
like-
make hot. You want to come
See?
come over to my place? I'll make us some hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. See?
Yeah. And he's like,
So they
how much
want
money
you-
do you want?
They want you to play a dumber character. You feel like you do better if you're
Dumb it
playing dumb at the strip club.
Sometimes,
Probably depends on the guy, right?
Sometimes they like smart girls. Like you would like a smart girl. That's why they're all telling you that they're graduate students.
Yeah, well, and also I said I was doing research, and they're like, cool, me too. You want to tip me?
I'm undercover.
yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, I love research. What's research again?
Yeah, but like I think like the only zodiac signs that I've heard have problems are Scorpios, Capricorns, and Aries. So those are the three.
What's the important part about those?
I don't know. Those are just the three zodiac signs that have like relationship issues, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anything to me.
I know it doesn't mean anything to me either, but that's just how astrology works. Astrology came about in a time where they only had knowledge of like 100,000 stars, and now we know that there's like millions and millions of stars and stuff, and yet those millions of
There you
stars
go.
have no effect over our personality whatsoever, and we don't take
Yeah,
account
what
of
about
them.
the other stars?
Only the ancient stars rule us.
That's a great point.
Yes.
And also, I don't think stars are having a huge effect on anybody's
I
personality.
actually think it's Zeus. I think
Zeus?
Zeus is the one running the show. I'm still hanging on. I'm still hanging on to those gods. Why did we abandon those gods?
The old gods and the new.
Here's the thing, like the amount of light that you're presented with, that might have an effect on how you feel and your personality. Sunlight, the moon, full moon, that could do something potentially. But the individual stars and the month, I don't know if anything beyond that has any effect.
People I think it's just like, it's like the whole going back to the whole feminism thing. People like labels. People like putting themselves in a box. People like knowing they're safe inside something.
Right.
I think
hard and fast science is always the answer. We've come to a natural conclusion on this podcast. There is no God. How do you feel about God?
How do you think?
Where's God? Oh shit! All right,
Yeah.
Sorry. There's a God.
Yes, I'm a Lana Del Rey Christian. Like,
what does that mean?
I don't know. Like I do whatever the fuck I want, and
You go to church?
Yeah, sometimes. It really helps. I don't know. I think it really helps me. That's what can I say.
Confessing would feel good.
Confessing it's just it's
Catholic?
like therapy. Yeah, I know.
I went to Catholic high school. I get it.
Yeah, I abandoned the faith recently after like joining it and stuff because I just like the whole pedophile thing and stuff. But then I saw Spotlight and I was just like, oh,
that puts
big
a
deal.
wrench in the works. The whole pedophile thing, right?
Well, the thing is that like we're all connected to evil shit no matter what, and so it's like
unavoidable.
I think the Catholic Church, it's better than one of those bullshit like prosperity gospel churches, you know what I mean, that are just trying to take all your money, you know what I mean. I mean, it's just like it's better than that, but then at the same time it's big enough that I don't feel like I have to be involved.
I think anybody in power is evil. The second you get power, you turn into a bad guy.
I mean, the Catholic Church has problems that need to be addressed, and if there's something I can do in my involvement in the Catholic Church to do that, then I do feel responsible. You know what I mean, and to advocate for victims. Where in any area that I'm involved. And so if I am involved in the Catholic Church, then I mean it's.
I think the biggest problem with power, I've thought about this, is the speed with which you're able to make decisions.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Because, like, plenty of times I want revenge, and then, like, a week goes by, I have no way of getting it. I'm like, I was overreacting.
They have resources. They can do whatever they want.
But you want that revenge bad enough, and then you have the resources to get it.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're doing things you wouldn't be doing if you had a week to think about it.
I was thinking of, what's his name? Jeffrey, whatever his name is. The
Epstein?
Guy Epstein.
Oh, God.
It's because he has the resources. That's how he's able to do that.
If it weren't for his resources, pretty good dude.
the funny thing is, CNN ran a story where they had like they relayed the actual story, and then like here's what Trump thinks, like quotes that Trump has relayed regarding Epstein, and there, in 2002 there was a quote from Trump. He's like, "I've known Epstein for 15 years. Terrific guy."
Oh God.
So Trump probably knows.
But Trump could easily argue in court. I say I've known lots of people for a long amount.
Exactly.
Half the things I say are a lie.
Yeah. That's Trump's defense for everything.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm talking about. I lie about everything.
Pure chaos.
Yeah, pure chaos.
The pure chaos that keeps him safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he admits to it. He's honest about being full of shit a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I lie all the time.
Yeah.
I never lie.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Even the general, the like most self-aware funny thing I think I ever heard him say was he goes, this guy's so crazy. I'm the reasonable person in the room.
But he almost never does that.
Bolton. He was like,
that's funny.
I was the reasonable guy in that room. Can you believe it?
That really should be his campaign, though. Like I'm better. Like somehow I'm more reasonable than the other person you could vote against.
That's kind of how I market it myself. Like I'm just like
Lady Trump.
Yes. And I'm kind of like, yes, I'm a reasonable person, but I'm also a stripper. You know what I mean? So it's like, am I a reasonable person? I don't know. But I don't know. I don't think any of the things I'm going after in my life or in the life of other women are unreasonable. You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like I am being unreasonable. And it's like, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not being unreasonable in wanting women to be safe. You know what I mean? And
that's very reasonable.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess the unreasonable thing potentially is, as a stripper, expecting to be treated well or something like that.
And we're not.
Yeah, inevitably you're not going to be treated well.
No, exactly. It's just I mean, social stigmas. It's just what it is. It is what it is.
Well, it's kind of a safe space for assholes.
Yeah. Oh, people
you
go.
pay
Guys,
good money to
guys,
be a dick.
Guys go in there to just be a jerk to
Yeah.
you. Guys go in there strictly because they want to be a piece of shit to you.
Right.
And
At the
it's
strip club?
yeah,
definitely.
It's
And you're like, I paid good money to call her a whore. I pay for this shit.
I know exactly. It's European guys call you whores. That's like
Do they?
That's a European thing. I don't know how to.
Could you get that whore over here? real
Yeah,
quick?
exactly.
French
exactly.
guys?
Yeah, like French guys. Yeah, like European guys will like seriously just call you a fucking whore.
I
Like
think
they'll just call you names.
as
Like,
far as
Much
misogyny
for
goes.
a whore dance in the room.
How much do your whore dances cost? I think in Europe, in a lot of parts of Europe, they're like 20, 30, 40 years behind gender-wise, gender dynamic-wise.
Really?
So it's hard to blame them. Misogyny is rampant in France.
Yeah.
I was watching that Romanovs show on Amazon, which is
Really?
like an American show, but it's shot in France. They're making a bunch of like female, like misogynistic, anti-women jokes, and everybody just laughs. Like it's totally if it's said in French, it's totally acceptable.
Wow.
So that's something to keep in mind with the European guys. It's hard to blame them. They're raised to think it's okay.
Should have been just like, I was doing it in French.
Start speaking in a French accent after that.
It was.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. Long time ago. Okay, what else we got? Dick pills.
Dick pics.
Oh, dick pics. I was like, I didn't say anything about dick pills.
It seems like you knew a lot about those.
Yeah, I
My
mean,
new sponsor, Dick Pills. Dick pills are great for your dick.
I wonder if that.
That's a
brand
good
is,
campaign.
I wonder if that brand
Yeah.
is taken.
Dick
I wonder
pills?
if anyone just thought
That'd
of
be funny. On
if
the
anyone
nose.
thought of calling it just dick
Genius.
pills. It's like snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Viagra.
Yep.
Dick pills.
TM. It's mine. I own that now.
You should copyright dick pills.
Dick pills. Okay, so dick pics.
I just told you about the Tinder thing.
Yes. So what? Okay, but I want to understand what is the psychology of like having your dick out there. Is it like a thirst trap for like when girls post photos of themselves in their bathing suit? Because I've done that before.
I feel
You
like
know
I'm
what I
being
mean?
interrogated right now.
Really?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I think the psychology probably is, well, there are a couple things possibly. Either you want to do the wrong thing, and get caught.
Right.
You want to do something bad and be admonished for it, or see if you can get away with doing something bad. You want attention, obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
You just wanted attention?
I think anybody who's sending a dick pic wants. I think anybody on a dating app wants attention.
Yeah.
Anybody to stand-up comedy or maybe a podcast wants attention.
I mean, I've asked for dick pics before. I don't know. I think they're kind of fun. Like,
You like them?
I mean, if I ask for them, I think it's. I
So-
think it's just feel like being naughty. You know what I mean? Like, send me a picture of your dick. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's just being naughty.
Right.
You know, and it's just being dirty. I mean, it's not like.
That's really all that it is.
There was one guy I got a dick pic. I wanted a dick pic because it was like I wanted to show people a photo of his dick because they wouldn't fucking believe it.
Because it was so humongous?
No, it was calico.
What?
It was 2 different colors.
Completely?
This guy's dick.
It's like a Neapolitan dick?
It was a Neapolitan dick. It was seriously. I'm not even kidding. It was calico.
Like half black, half white?
It was like no. It was more like a reddish pink and white.
And you're into that?
No, I was just like I just needed to show the girls. Just it's interesting
So you're not,
seeing how guys like.
You're not
pose.
repulsed by dick pics? You're not totally opposed to dick pics?
Well, this one guy he would pose in his dick pics like he would do an Adonis pose.
What does that mean?
I mean I
I also don't.
Don't show me the dick pic.
you don't want to see it? You don't want to see this?
You really have a hard time.
That's
like
fine.
how much porn?
I've seen
have
tons of
you
porn.
looked at?
No, that's true.
Okay, it's
Like
probably way.
porn.
It
they're
desensitizes
throwing
you to
dicks at
everything.
you there's like. You could be watching lesbian porn and you'll still see like 8 dicks.
No,
on the
it's true.
screen.
It's true. I want to see porn I want to see dicks from the right angle, though. You know?
A dick in real life is terrifying,
Yeah.
but on a screen.
I've slept in Korean spas. I've seen plenty of dicks.
Mm-hmm. I've gone to
Korean spas are horrifying. If you're afraid of dicks.
Well, it's intense. It's
Just
like,
a lot at once.
It's just like it's supposed to be relaxing, and then I'm just like, how am I able to relax?
Exactly. I went in. I had to sleep in one
the
one
least
night.
relaxed I've ever been.
I went in high. I went in high.
I was high too.
Yeah, just to get it because I wanted to sleep. And then you see hundreds of dicks.
They're just everywhere.
I was having a panic attack the whole time. It's terrifying.
I'm still trying to find it. It was a long time ago.
So he's like had his leg up. It was like a Captain Morgan thing.
Yeah, kind of like that. Sort of like that. Let me. God damn
Like
it! I know I have.
elbow
it 'cause
on the
I see
knee?
it in here sometimes, and I'm like, remember that? Okay. Y'all.
And you asked for this dick pic.
Yep, I asked for it. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It was just sort of like, like Steve poses like an Adonis in his dick pics. That's who he is. You know what I mean? It says something about him.
Did you like it? The pose?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, it's not like, I mean, like, I don't know. It's just like,
How does everybody else pose?
because it's like, send me a picture of your dick, and he's like, okay. And then instead of like just taking a picture of his dick, he's
his
like,
whole body.
I'm gonna take a picture of my whole body standing and posing like a strong man and stuff. And it was just sort of like weird. I don't know. It was just different. Like, and it was the
kind
guy
of
wasn't.
maybe
really
like a fun change of pace,
the
right?
thing is, he really
Women are
wasn't.
so sensitive to everything.
He really wasn't that kind of like you wouldn't expect that from this guy. Like he was like a writer. He was like kind of bookish and stuff. Like, and
You thought you were gonna get like a grainy close up.
Yeah, or something.
But he's a writer, so he's an artist.
He's like using it as a bookmark.
Yes.
His dick.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Using it as.
I think the full body dick pic's probably better, at least for scale.
Yeah, it gives you a sense.
It gives you a sense of what you're really
The
getting.
actual
Yeah,
dick.
that's true because it was like he was using his leg to like show how long it was and stuff.
So full body is probably the way to go.
You know what? Yeah, I think so. If you're gonna do it, maybe pose in it, show off your body.
So it sounds
Just don't
like,
have your face in it. That's what's weird when you're taking a dick pic and it's like.
Oh, it's going up at your
But
face.
then you also know it's them.
It's good to have proof.
Also
and
helpful.
it's like this. Here, I'm gonna show you how.
Yeah, I've done that one where it's like by my head, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
can
over
see
here.
your fucking face in it. Like that's weird. I don't like that. Don't
You're
have
smiling.
your face in
No,
it.
that's a fun one.
No.
You're like, hey.
Don't have your face in it in a dick pic.
Well, and it's incriminating. That's the problem.
That is a problem. That it is incriminating, but still at the same time, just weird.
I just love how you're like you're upset about everything but the dick.
Yeah.
In the pic.
Don't make weird faces.
Don't
You
pose.
you don't mind dick pics. Sounds like you're pro dick pic.
I mean, I'm not pro unsolicited dick pics, but yeah,
Right.
like I mean,
Hence why
unless
I've never
like
sent any. I'm not sending an unsolicited. It just
Nobody's
has
asking.
Yet to be solicited.
I mean, if I was dating a guy and we had
But
been
I got
dating for
him.
like a few months and I got a surprise dick pic, I would laugh and I would think it was cute. You know what I mean? Like then
Adorable, even.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, that's an unsolicited dick pic. You sexually assaulted my eyes. I wouldn't react that way if I got an unsolicited dick pic.
That's
If
good.
we had already been dating for a while.
But if it's someone new, you ask.
Yes. If it's new
What's
and it's
the level-
unsolicited,
what's
that
the
is sexual
level
assault
of-
upon the eyes.
What's the level of upset with the
Unsolicited dick pic. How upset do you get?
I've never gotten an unsolicited dick pic. I always ask for them.
See, the key to not getting an unsolicited dick pic is to always ask.
Ask
Just,
everyone you ever
yeah.
met.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Just so it's not unsolicited.
job
You can send it if
interview.
you want.
By the
I-
way, would you mind sending me a picture of your penis?
So I'm just going to catch the chase. Just send me a dick pic now. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah. That's smart.
You know,
Then you're never surprised.
exactly.
You're running for public office. Send me donations and dick pics.
Yeah. And then you can blackmail all of these guys. Genius. Al Franken, get a dick pic.
Guys don't care. That is a woman's thing, I think. Like the whole like women like that
I
girl.
think it depends.
You know those girls, like those actresses that like they're like hackers got all their nudes and that sort of thing. Like
The
I feel,
fappening.
yeah,
Mhm.
like I feel like that's like I just feel like guys wouldn't give a shit if that happened to them.
Because,
That's just my feeling
like,
about
Brett Favre
it.
didn't
Not as much.
seem bothered.
No, not at all. Chris Brown, is totally fine with it. Justin Bieber. It helps if you have a humongous dick.
Yeah,
And it
but
gets
also, what I know about special effects. If one of mine leaked, I'd be fine.
Yeah,
with that.
sure. No.
Oh gosh.
Honestly,
who's
yeah.
Who's taken the
You-
unflattering?
Yeah,
pictures
exactly. You
of
take a
their-
becoming dick pic.
Well, they doctored Justin Bieber's dick in that like Calvin Klein ad.
They made it humongous?
Yeah, they made it humongous. They like photoshopped his dick in. It was pretty funny.
Where did you hear about that?
You could see the before and after photos.
Oh, really?
How do you know
Yeah.
they didn't doctor the before?
Because
He doesn't even have a dick.
Justin Bieber's a girl. Okay, so how can men be allies?
You're putting me on the spot here.
Okay, well this is one thing that's been on my mind. Like I've been harassed in public before, right?
Okay.
And I've been in like
I think one way to be an ally is to not do that.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's like, how do you help poor people? Don't be a poor person. You know what I mean? Like that's, it's like, how do you help women not get raped? Don't be a rapist.
Don't be a woman. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
So it's like, I just think that men, taking personal responsibility, over themselves and the people in their circle. You know what I mean? I think that's the best way men can be allies. Educating themselves, taking the time.
Well, and like I said in the thing that got cut, probably, you got to listen. Listen to what women have to say regarding all of this stuff that's happening now.
Exactly. Don't believe victims. Listen to women who are saying
just
that
listen.
You're victims,
You don't have to believe anybody. Just
yeah.
listen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't have to believe anyone. Just listen to them.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe because the thing is, rape is such a horrible crime. It really is. It really is just a really fucked up crime.
Yeah,
and so because it is so severe and because it is so horrible, and it's like, I've once heard somebody say that rape is like unfinished murder because it's like you're making somebody live with that for the rest of their life like, and so
really any abuse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly. And I that totally resonated with me because it's like what you have to deal with, walking away from that and having to live with that. It's tattooed on your life forever, you know? And so, it's like, I kind of understand why people are like, oh, wait. Like, okay, like let's, what about the man? Let's just listen to the man. What does the man have to say? Oh, he didn't do it. Oh, he's innocent. Oh, well, thank God. Of course he's not a rapist. Or, you know what I mean? Because it's like, people don't, it's so horrible a thing that people just don't want to believe it actually
happens at all.
Yeah,
that's probably true.
When it does, and and it's just like
and there's no tangible evidence. It's not like murder.
The problem is, the guy. The sexual assault I was telling you about earlier. That guy is so charming. He's so funny. He's so cute. You know what I mean? There's people want to be friends with him. People want to like him, and he's likable and stuff. And so he has that to his advantage. You know what I mean? And so it's like when people are,
those are great traits for the sexual assaulters to have.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like placing me next to that guy, it's, God damn it. Sorry.
Well, and he's probably, the fact of the matter is he's probably gotten away with stuff like that before because he's a charming guy.
Yeah. And he got into my apartment because he's a charming guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was in my life because he was a charming guy, and so it's like when you put me, like this fucking stripper, you know what I mean, with this like dinky little podcast, and you put me up to this guy who's actually performing, who's actually really funny, who's actually pretty successful and stuff like that. People aren't going to take my side because I'm not the winning side.
Right.
And so it's just I think, growing up in a small town, I grew up with the benefit of rumors. You know what I mean? Like guys would come up to me and be like, oh, like this guy, he's a real piece of shit. He like did this to so-and-so. Don't stay away from him. You know
everybody by name. You've heard about everybody beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. So
LA is a big city.
Exactly. So it's just like, I've named him in one of my vlogs, because that's all I can do. You know what I mean? Just like name him, shame him. That's all you can do really, And so that's what I did. But part of that is like, if any women, any woman that knows this man, I would tell her, don't be alone with him. If you don't want to have sex with him, he's not going to like that. And he's going to try and force something to happen with you. Don't be alone with him. Well,
that being said, I don't know if any men love, being romantically interested in someone and not having sex, but that doesn't mean they're going to act like insane people and assault the other person.
Well, there was a red flag, and this is the thing with abuse, because when I was when I was raped, you know what I mean, there was a warning sign and there was a red flag. This guy did something that was really creepy and weird, What
was the red flag?
I went into this bedroom to change, and he walked in and put his arms around me and put his arms around my waist, while I was changing. Mm-hmm. And I told him to get the fuck away from me and leave me alone and stuff. But then later that night when I was drunk and, he said I could sleep in his bed. And I was just like, oh, okay. I'll go sleep in his bed, but it's like he did something that would have told me what his intentions were. You know what I mean? And I ignored that. And so it's just like with this guy, the guy we were just talking about,
what's his name again? I'm just kidding.
No, I don't know. Honestly, I'm debating taking the vlog where I name him down. I'm debating it. I don't know.
That's tricky too. That's an interesting situation to be in.
I don't know. I mean, I did it compulsively out of anger, which is, I think people can understand that and stuff, but it's just like,
well, and it's not like
I'm angry and I want to do something
about it. He did what he did.
It.
Yeah, there should be some repercussions.
For sure. And so, I would just say, like, if you know about him, I would just tell all your female friends that in the comedy scene to stay away from him, it's not worth the risk, don't be alone with him, and, and so I wish somebody had told that to me before that, I don't know. I wish somebody had said to me to not be alone with him, and so if, so that's all I can do is just don't be alone with this guy, but he wanted me to be his girlfriend. And so the second time that we got together and the last time we were consensually physical, he said he wanted me to be his girlfriend. And I was like, no, I'm not interested. I'm not dating right now. And he was like, you know what? I feel like all of these girls are just using me as a boyfriend experience and stuff. And it's like, and he had like resentment towards me rejecting him. You know what I mean? That was coming from other women, you know? And, cause he wasn't talking to me, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes like somebody's mad at you, but it's like, they're not talking to you. They're talking to somebody else, and
sure.
Yeah. And so it's,
past experiences.
Yeah. So he was projecting and I felt him projecting, negative feelings about women onto me, and even though he did, even though I felt that, and even though I sensed that, I still agreed to be alone with him again, and, but it's just like I walked down a dark alleyway at night in a bad neighborhood wearing a miniskirt, that's what it is. When you see those red flags, you're walking down a dark alleyway at night in a bad neighborhood in a miniskirt, and unfortunately, I feel like the way society sees things, they're not going to see that you were raped. They're just going to see that you walked down a dark alleyway at night in a bad neighborhood in a miniskirt, and
you're saying they're going to say it was your fault.
I mean, I don't think they're going to say it's like that directly, but I think that they're going to say like, why the fuck did you walk down a dark alleyway at night?
Why were you hanging out with that guy?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just
because he seemed nice.
Like this could have all been avoided if you had just not walked down that dark alleyway at night. But it's like I did, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry I did that, but it's like I don't want to have to pay for this, and
this doesn't even sound like a dark alley in a miniskirt. He's a nice guy, and you're hanging out with him. Now, inviting him to lay down in bed with you, who knows? Maybe that's not the best thing to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, where else were we going to sit? It's just, I don't know.
But you didn't see what was coming.
No.
It's not your fault.
No.
So how can men be more allied with women? Listen to stuff, listen to what they have to say. And
avoid the impulse to let those details like walking down a dark alleyway at night in a bad neighborhood in a miniskirt, don't take those into consideration. It's not her fault, and she feels bad, and she's, I mean, honestly, like, even like, I mean, I wish people understood just how much I regret my choices when these things happen to me.
Right.
And I just, and how guilty I feel about my own choices when these things happen to me, and so, and how, I blame myself. I wish people would see that. And I feel like people don't. I feel like people just kind of, I don't know.
Well, ideally, everybody sees it from the woman's perspective, which is easier said than done, but that's an ideal situation.
Sure.
Even if you are walking down a dark alley, doesn't mean you want something bad to happen.
Yeah, but I feel like people just sort of like throw up their hands and be like, well, you walk down a dark alleyway at night in a mini skirt in a bad neighborhood. You know what I mean? That's what you get. Like, I really do feel like that's the attitude I receive from people so often.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay. And yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well.
Listen.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, the moral is to listen.
To listen. And to, even though rape is a horrible crime and you don't want to believe anybody to be capable of it, people are,
Yeah.
And honestly, like, so many good men out there have done really fucked up shit to women, and they're not going to lose their friends. They're not going to lose their family. They're not going to lose the women in their life. But I mean, those things have to be acknowledged and addressed within their circles, and, so, I mean, honestly, if you have a friend or a family member who has done something to somebody or confides in you that they did something to somebody, I mean, if they are remorseful about it, talk to them about it. If they aren't remorseful about it, confront them and make sure that they are, and, yeah, that's just my thought.
It's a good thought.
Yeah. But I mean, even in like that situation where you're talking about like meeting, a girl who's like overweight, when she doesn't look like her photo.
Yeah,
you know
let's
what I mean?
not lump that into this
Well,
conversation.
yeah, but I mean, like, it's like, I think like trying to put yourself in her shoes, you know what I mean, and just kind of see where she's coming from.
It's all that that is like very very mild manipulation of a situation. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
At all.
But like, but even on a small scale, you know what I mean? You can like put yourself in her shoes, see what she's doing, know what she's doing is wrong, see why she's doing it, and empathize.
The thing is, it's not that wrong.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal. It's just like a little confusing from my perspective, but it's totally fine. Nobody's hurt at the end of that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not quite the same thing.
All right.
She didn't rape me with her fat body.
I know. It's all the same. It's all the same.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
And what you're talking about is legitimate, and that's good advice for everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Well, that was our episode. This is Ben Herwitz. He's the host of Alienate the Audience. Mm-hmm. Watch it on iTunes. Listen to it. Yeah. Listen to it on iTunes. Sorry, I didn't mean to create a paradox. Okay. And that was our episode today. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, share, or just watch and enjoy it. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming. Okay.